King Porus, a legend of old. By Michael Madhusudan Dutt. Summary. The historical poem recounts the epic battle between Alexander the Great and King Porus, portraying Indian glory. The midnight assault by Alexander's army on the kingdom of Ind unfolds dramatically, marked by thunder, lightning, and ferocious combat. Despite King Porus's valiant defense and a bloody struggle, Alexander prevails. In defeat, Porus remains fearless and proud, facing capture with unwavering confidence. Impressed by Porus's regal demeanor, Alexander honors him and, captivated by his bravery, restores Porus's kingdom with dignity. The poem encapsulates the resilience and heroism of King Porus, highlighting the fleeting triumphs and enduring spirit of Indian history. About the author. Michael Madhusudan Dutt, 1824–1873, was a popular 19th-century Bengali poet and playwright. He is regarded as one of the greatest literary Bengali poets and as the father of the Bengali sonnet. He was the first playwright to write Bengali plays in the English style, splitting the play into acts and scenes. He is also regarded as the author of the first satirical play in Bengali. Question 1. Read the extracts and answer the questions. Extract 1. But when teacher Mathian conqueror saw that with gaping wounds he bled, desist, desist. He cried dash. Such noble blood should not be shed. Question 1. Who spoke the above lines and to whom? ANS. These words were spoken by Alexander to his soldiers, who rounded King Porus. Question 2. Why do you think the speaker cried out, desist? ANS. Alexander saw King Porus fighting with valor and courage just like his father. He also saw that he was fighting with gaping wounds which bled. He immediately asked his soldiers to stop fighting and not to shed this noble blood anymore. Question 3. Write down one quality of the speaker that strikes you from the above lines. ANS. Alexander was kind enough to stop the war. He was courteous with King Porus as he asked him that, how he wished to be treated by them. Question 2. Answer the following questions in 3 or 4 sentences. Question A. How has the poet depicted King Porus' army? ANS. The army of King Porus was small in number, yet they rushed upon their foes as bravely as a lion. They fought hard to get freedom. They were badly defeated at the hands of the soldiers of King Alexander. It was a bloody battle. But at last, India's army was overpowered by Alexander's troop. Question B. How did King Alexander react to King Porus' demand? Why? ANS. When King Porus was taken before Alexander as a prisoner, he asked him how should he be treated. King Porus replied that he should treat him as a king treats a king. Alexander was very impressed with him as a warrior that he allowed him to rule his kingdom. Q3. Answer the following questions briefly. Question A. Describe King Porus. ANS. The heroic King Porus was like a lion. He was full of triumphant feelings. He was fiery and brave in his fight. He fought with great bravery and confidence, with all his might to save his kingdom. He was not a coward. He was not worried or fearful even among the enemies. He stood like a Himalayan peak with his eternal glory. He was very courageous and stood like ocean rock amidst the lashing billow. He was quiet and unmoved. His presence was like a thundering shock for enemies. He wanted himself to be treated as a king. This showed his royal pride. Question B. What did Alexander observe about King Porus as he fought against his enemies? How did he react? ANS. King Alexander observed King Porus march with his glorious flag and fought bravely. All his army men were true to their devotion and fought bravely to save their freedom. It was a bloody battle. But at last, the Huns' army was overpowered by Alexander's troops. King Porus was standing in the midst of foes like Himalayan peak with its term-eternal crown of snow. His milk-white elephant was looking like a brilliant gem. Porus was a real hero. Even in his defeat, his face was shining dauntlessly. There was no fear on his face. King Porus charged bravely with full confidence. Alexander was enthralled with the king's boldness. He honored him and asked him how he should be treated. Very confidently King Porus replied that he should be treated as a king by a king. Alexander was so much impressed with him that he allowed him freedom and returned his kingdom with all honor. Thus, India's crown was lost and won. Higher order thinking skill. Question 8. Describe the two happenings in the poem. ANS. The poet describes it as a deadly scene with thundering, roaring and dazzling. Alexander's army defeated King Porus. Later King Porus was brought before Alexander. Porus was not at all fearful. He faced Alexander confidently. He stood there like a Himalayan peak. When Alexander asked him how he should be treated, he replied that he should be treated as the king. Question B. What quality of Alexander is also inherent in his act of forgiveness? ANS. Alexander's act of forgiveness proves that he was a man of great soul. He himself was brave and knew how to honor bravery. He was a considerate person. He realized King Porus' greatness.
Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more updates.